So we'll just start this off, and you can, I'm going to be the one that's, emoting, you might say, confiding, and you be the listener. And I think a very simple will tell me what's happening kind of a beginning is fine, and then I'll start.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, good afternoon, Henry. And how are you today?
I'm fine.
And what's going on with you today?
Well, I'm experiencing a lot of feelings and emotions, and trying to pull this class off, and feeling that there's a lot to do, and aware of the people and aware of the tasks, and excited and scared, and lots of stuff.
So you're feeling a gamut of emotions, some of them contradictory. You're excited, and at the same time you're a little maybe nervous or apprehensive about how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know where things are exactly. I'm enjoying, I get really excited about the stuff. This is really good stuff. And then on the other hand, are the people understanding it, or is it too much? I'm trying reality test, and stuff like that. So I'm unsure a little bit of my ground.
I see. So you're feeling maybe, sounds like you're maybe a little afraid because your enthusiasm you get carried away with, and maybe you're a little frightened about how other people are going to respond to all of the things that you're trying to get across.
Yeah, I think that is a little scared about, somehow if I overdo it or what have you, get carried away, I lose track of what's reasonable, or what can you expect, what can you ask, and yet it's somehow good. And so wanting to find that balance and not know exactly how to go about reality testing.
I see. Well, it sounds like you're so enthusiastic, and there's so many good things that you want to happen with this class, and yet on the other hand you're holding yourself back for fear that maybe the other students might not be able to absorb all of that, or maybe your enthusiasm won't be as catching.
Yeah, and I don't know how to test it. At lunchtime, I ran into an old student at the gym, and he says, "Don't protect him, you give them all you can during the weekend, they'll have a whole month to sort it out." Now, he's been there, and that was comforting. Like, he was giving me a little bit of a feedback, because you watch people's faces, and they're like, maybe they're in shock or what, you don't know what you're reading there, and everyone wants to have a sure thing rather than a risk. So they'll act a little bit shy, and then you want to pull back. But no, they don't really want to have the stuff not given to them. So there's ambivalence in the air.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was fortunate for you that you ran into an old student, don't you? That seem to make you feel more comfortable, that you ran into this student and you got that kind of feedback.
Yes.
So it reduced your apprehension.
Yeah, because it was a little bit of clarity, because he had been through the whole process. He had been at the point of feeling the overload, and been on the other side when he came out of it. Mm-hmm. So he had some experience and spoke. He could speak to both feelings. Yes, I know what it's like to be overloaded, but also remember, we got to process it, and it worked out okay.
So it sounds like you got a little clarity from this former student.
Yeah, I came back from lunch feeling a little bit more confident than I left at lunchtime, feeling kind of nervous or guilty, like, oh gosh, am I asking too much? Am I expecting too much?
Well, it sounds like you've got a handle on it now.
I have a handle on it?
You're feeling a lot better about
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have a handle, but I'm feeling better. I'm feeling
good.
better, yes. It's like, it feels like it's riding this wild animal, And you want to ride this animal because it's a thrill, like you've ever been surfing. But at the same time, you don't want anybody to get hurt.
I see. So
there's more than just me involved.
So you're feeling not only your own feelings, but you're very concerned. You're telling me you're very concerned about the reactions of the students and their feelings, and how they're going to process this.
Yes, because I feel that my assumption is people have to feel a certain amount of confidence in order to undertake something. So I want to have enough time for enough confidence that they'll try. But it seems like we're so pressed, for time. So then I get worried.
So you worry about the time constraint you think, more than the actual work
Well,
you're going to put out
it feels like
there?
I don't have the time, you know, like to make the connection with everybody, you know, say, how you doing, you know, and we sort of get into your speed and your dance, and then we sort of move on from there. It's sort of a
I see.
you know, and oh, by the way, hi, it's nice to have you here.
Well, so you're feeling you're not giving them, you're giving them a lot of work, but not enough individual
And
attention?
to process where they're at with it so we can digest it. I feel like I'm missing everybody.
So you're feeling like you need to maybe
Have
give
more
them a
time.
little more individual time.
Or is that sense of contact? Yeah, if we could sit around, you know, like they would love to sit around for 3 hours talking about the stuff, but before only get about 10 minutes of that. I say, I'm sorry, that's enough discussion. We got to move on. I'd love to hear what they were feeling. So, and I notice that when I don't know, then I start wondering and thinking and supposing and imagining and worrying, you know, because I don't know.
So you've got all these things going on in your mind and you're thinking about all the different possibilities of how the students are going to react to all these various things. You've really got a lot going on about this class in your mind. A lot of different aspects are coming into play here. So it sounds
it is
like
a lot of different dimensions. Yeah, they're thinking about, you know, trying to balance. And I realize I can't do that, you know. I can't, I realize my mind says, Henry, you just can't do that. You've got to just plan it, do your best work, lay it out there, and let people take care of themselves. But there's this part of me, and I don't know if it's a healthy part or an unhealthy part or what. This, well, I wonder how she's thinking about this. I wonder how he's feeling, you know.
So you've got a little conflict going between your head and your heart.
Well, I'd say it's a conflict between, on the one hand, focusing on here's the stuff I want to share, and at the same time wondering how are you processing this? How are you processing, and wanting to stop and say, you tell me how you're processing it. Okay, how are you? Okay, how are you? Okay, but not feeling there's enough time to that to satisfy my sense of being connected to how everybody is feeling about it. Because of having to go on to the next thing. And then I feel guilty that I'm not putting people first. Even though the purpose is to, you know, is of coming here and doing this is to share something with people so that they can learn.
So there's not only, sure, makes a lot of sense. So there's not only a conflict going on up here and here, but it sounds to me like there's a couple of conflicts going on in here. It sounds like you want to give something that you're not really confident you can give.
Yeah, wow, yeah. I want to give them something, and I still feel very new at this. And not, you know, I can look back at previous ones. Yeah, they did get it. Yeah, they told me it was good, but I'm still not sure. You know, it takes lots of repetitions for me where I can say, yeah, I can do this. So yeah, I'm not sure that I can give it. I'm not sure that I am giving it. I'm trying really hard to give it.
And I'm
Are you getting it? I'm wondering.
not to give it.
Yeah, okay, so let's just stop here for a second.
Yes.
And I thought you did very well. You took me to a place of clarity where I am, as you heard, processing all kinds of levels.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of aware that I'm processing at all kinds of levels. But when we sat down, we had a chance for me to really be aware that I was processing on many levels. And as we talked about that some, I got to understand that what was happening was I was unsure if I could give what I really wanted to give, that I really wanted to give something. I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person who wants to give something. But because of feeling unsure, wanting to get a lot of confirmation back or feedback so I could adjust my giving so I could make sure that I was giving it.
Mhm.
And you make me feel a lot better about what I'm